Hello and welcome to another session of Karen's Colours. I'm Dr. Karen and these are my colour conversations. Well, it's that time again where we delve into the realm of potential. Yes, time for more monthly colour readings. I hope you've been enjoying the ones that I have been presenting so far, and I'd be very curious to find out just how it is that you managed with the colour changes that you may have chosen for yourself. I, this month, had the colours blue and yellow, and I certainly had some surprises, which is what those colours tend to suggest. The most surprising thing, of course, was that even though I am a lucid dreamer, and still dreamt throughout the entire month, I couldn't remember any of them, which is really quite interesting because yellow is a colour of remembering things. So obviously it was an issue that I needed to deal with. But before we get started today, I'd really like to welcome those of you who are new subscribers to this channel. It's always pleasant to find that there are people who are starting to find an interest in the sorts of things that I talk about. Maybe it's not so much these monthly readings, maybe it's more to do with the films that I analyse, but whatever it is, if I can explore with you the world of colour as I see it, then maybe you too will find an interest in something that you didn't know that you were interested in. For those of you who are regular viewers, thank you from the bottom of my heart for attending, and really, I think it's time that you might like to make some comments. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what's happening to you. Let me know how these readings resonate for you. And that way I can be guided into giving more informed opinions of the colours as they turn out. If you're new here, then of course you are also very, very welcome. And I hope you find something here that is of benefit to you. All right, well, this month I've decided to take the oracle called The Treasures of Tikashi. Now, I don't have a box for these anymore. These have been with me for almost as long as my tarot cards and much, much longer than my colour cards. So the box is long gone, but it has some very wonderful messages for people. And I hope that the message that comes out for you resonates with what you are experiencing in your life in the here and now. All right then, well, let's get started. Well, let's now take a oracle from the Treasures of Tikashi for people born in the month of March to address the underlying message for those people for October 2025. And we'll take that and pop it under here for the time being and look at it at the end of the reading. And now I want a colour reading for people born in the month of March to examine how their October 2025 will eventuate. And we begin the month with red on pink. Majority of the month is red on purple. And then we leave the month with pink on blue. And the underlying energy is white on grey. All right, we have two colours that are repeated. Firstly, we have red as the action at the beginning of the month and also throughout the majority of the month. And then we have pink that appears as the underlying need or drive coming into the month, and then as the activity as you are leaving the month. It's got some interesting ideas here. All right, the underlying energy we have here is white on grey. Grey means as a driver, It means that there is a great deal of confusion in your life, a great deal of uncertainty. You're not really sure what direction to go in, and what you need is some sort of direction to choose. But in the real world, what happens here is that you're finding your energy is scattered in all sorts of different directions. White is a clash with reality. You're not quite sure what it is that you want out of life. You're not quite sure where it is you're heading or what to think about whatever it is that you are experiencing. But in the real world, experiences keep crashing into your life. Everything you do is like it's a new day, a new life. You've never experienced this before. And in many ways, this combination means that you're feeling out of your depth. That is the energy that permeates the entirety of the month, which is a really interesting one, considering that what you're coming into the month with is a pregnancy. All right? Now, pink and red together is always the development of new life. Now, when I say pregnancy, it doesn't necessarily mean pregnant with a human child. It could just be that you have some sort of project that is now in its infancy and you need to help it along the way. Maybe it's even just simply an idea that you haven't even activated yet. But whatever it is something small and very delicate and very fragile that you are working towards putting into the real world. The fragility is this pink internally. There is a need here for something small and fragile and very, very vulnerable to exist. You haven't got it yet, but the seed is there. And in the real world, there is a great deal of enthusiasm and passion that you are experiencing as a result of wanting to put this in. In fact, it's almost downright stubbornness. You are determined that whatever it is, that this grain of tiny, tiny, tiny ideas, ambitions, goals, whatever it is, babies, if you are actually pregnant, then it's a determination to make that succeed, to make that successful. It could also be that this is a major crisis in your life because suddenly red says stop. So whatever it was that you were doing has suddenly come crashing in on you and says, well, you know, you've done it now, girl or boy. It's time to face up to reality. You've got to stop and look at what it is that you've put into the real world, and now you have to deal with it, whatever it is. As you come further into the month, that stop energy remains there. And why I say this is likely to, this is the pregnancy, is that here we have the same thing happening, but now instead of a tiny seed of something, now we have it's grown into something bigger. It's a more childlike energy. In the internal world, what you're asking yourself here is to destroy what was before, make major catastrophic changes. You're going to have to rearrange your entire life, and you're going to have to do it by creating something new, by healing and fixing up whatever it was that was broken back here that caused you to want to start off this new project. In the real world, again, you've got that red, that stop. Stop and consider. You have all of the energy, all of the enthusiasm that is necessary to get the job done. But at the same time, you are also working incredibly hard. Both of these are indicators of a lot of physical activity. Now, it could be physical activity with a purpose, but it also could just simply be physical activity for the sake of physical activity. You could even be taking risks. You could be literally spilling blood. That's a really dangerous situation to be in. And when you have purple as the underlying energy, this underlying need for having some sort of healing take place, some sort of major change take place, when you're out there spilling blood, then you are putting yourself into a circumstance where things will never be the same again after whatever it is that you've started here is now starting to mature. By the time we get to the end of the month, and once again, this is another card associated with nurturing of a baby. Now, the need is to become that nurturer. You need understanding, you need information, you need to be able to get yourself organized and do your duty, figure out how you're going to deal with things. But in the real world now, instead of this being a tiny seed of something that is a need internally, now it's well and truly there. And now it's a situation in which you have to accept help. You can't do it all on your own. So whatever it was that you started growing here that suddenly became a massive driver by the middle of the month, by the end of the month, you're needing to have help. Now, the underlying energy for all of this still is the white on grey. So how does this impinge upon the rest of the reading? Well, we can have red over grey. Now, when red appears over grey, grey is that drive to overcome uncertainty and confusion and find something understandable in your life. But in the real world, you're just jumping at every shadow, jumping at any opportunity that is there without even thinking. There is no actual mental energy in any of this reading. You're not thinking things through. You're just simply doing. As soon as the inspiration hits, bang, you're into it. And the same here with the white on pink. Now, white on pink means that you've actually got to the stage where whatever it is that you are needing assistance with, whatever love that you're looking for, in the real world, you're accepting whatever it is coming your way. So in effect, whatever you are doing here, whatever impulses you are dealing with, they're coming back either as good results or they're coming back to bite you. This is unplanned. This is not organized. This is just simply a passionate response to a need to be loved. And add to that the overarching, I don't understand what is happening. It can create a lot of, well, let's use the word interesting, shall we? A lot of interesting repercussions as a result of this sudden passionate behavior that didn't think things through, because now you've stuck with the consequences. By the middle of the month, you have still the same red on grey. So it's still a matter of you need to find your way out of confusion. And in the real world, you just simply, whatever takes your fancy right now, that's what you're going to grab. But white over purple has a slightly different reading to white over pink, whereas white over pink is sort of like receiving some sort of just desserts for your efforts. White over purple has to do with going back and doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's like you haven't learned any lessons from here, even though you've had a clash with reality at the beginning of the month. And that clash with reality has come as a result of whatever passionate thing you did. Now you're still doing those same passionate things, but you're doing them again and again and again. It's like you really don't know when to stop. That's what it comes down to. But white over purple is also permanence. You're stuck with it forever. Whatever it is that you've been doing, that's it. It's branded you in some way. So how does that get towards the end of the month? Well, here, by the end of the month, you have pink over grey. Grey, uncertainty, confusion, the need to get away from that and to find some sort of clear path or middle road, even maybe. In the real world, there is a need for assistance from others. You're vulnerable. You really are out of your depth. And because of that, you're going to have to accept what other people offer you in terms of advice. Well, what is that advice? Well, here it comes, white on blue. Blue is understanding, it's consolidating information, it's getting yourself organized. White is having to deal with whatever comes along. This is your change of perspective. So while the pink on grey asks you to find whatever middle road there is that allows you to recreate yourself as someone worthy, it also requires you, these two cards, these two combinations require you to change your mind, to accept what you must accept. Don't just keep struggling, because back here, the struggles led you down a path that could have been quite damaging, quite destructive. Now it's time to pay the piper. All right, so let's have a look at what colours are missing, see if we get any more information here. This is a very, very interesting reading. All right, so we don't have black, but we do have white. We have red, a lot of it. There's no yellow or green, but you do have blue. There's no brown. There is no orange, but you do have grey and purple and pink, but there's no cyan. So here we have 6 colours that represent the skills that you will be able to access easily enough throughout the month of October. Red, of course, being one of the prominent ones, and pink being the other prominent one. And both of those having very little in the way of thinking associated. On the other hand, here we have the colours that are missing. And what we have here is black, which is all about withdrawal, so that you can have time out to reconsider what information you have and what experiences you have and learn from those. Then we have yellow, which is all about learning something new, digesting information, and finding what makes you happy. Green is about accepting new opportunities, changing your perspective on things in terms of how you value opportunities and experiences in life. Brown is all about being able to create the sorts of goals and aspirations and develop the practical skills that are necessary for you to move forward. Orange is all about confidence and the ability to survive issues as they arise. And finally, cyan is all about being able to find the bliss, the happiness, the contentment that is necessary for you to overcome whatever stagnation occurs when things are too quiet for your liking. So choose the 2 colours here, the one that is most appealing and the one that is least appealing, and introduce them into your life in some way throughout the month of October. In doing so, you're actually increasing your repertoire here. Instead of 6 different skills, you now have 8. And with those 8 skills, you can travel through this journey in such a way as to potentially have a really good outcome. Because we still have the opportunity here for the pink and white in the real world, that is justice, and the blue and grey in the internal world, which is contentment. So what are you going to do? Let's have a look at what Tikashi has to say. Practicality. What else? Be practical and do it easy. Do not make things more complicated than you need to. Everything will work out the way it is meant to unfold. It is time to tidy up, clean up loose ends, attend to the practical side of life, and allow sense to prevail. You have sound, down-to-earth and workable projects waiting for your energy input. Do not doubt your practical capabilities. Well, that's what this is about, getting practical. Oh dear, March people, you've got a challenge ahead. Are you going to take it? Well, that was certainly an interesting reading. I hope it resonates with you throughout the month. And if it doesn't, come back in a week or so and see what it has to say then. Because quite often we don't recognize all these general readings for ourselves immediately. It's only once we've gone through a few stages that we start to realize that, maybe that was what it was all about. Anyway, until next time, may the colors of your life bring you joy and happiness and all the things that you desire. Until I see you again, bye.